I know you are exhausted. I know the only thing you want is to be out and finally be at peace. But you stay, losing months, years, and sometimes decades of your life to something that you are not even enjoying. And what makes you miserable, lowers your self-esteem and self-worth, and leaves you with anxiety and depression. So why are people staying in such relationships if the most obvious thing that will set them free is leaving? This is exactly what we are going to talk about today, so make sure to stick until the end, as you might find yourself in those whys. My name is Darina and I am a Year 4 psychology student. Let's get started. And the first thing that keeps you in a relationship with a narcissist is hope. I hope it will get better. I hope he will understand his mistakes. I hope that there is still a chance that things will get better. And you can continue this list endlessly. But the problem with hope is that it is really weak currency. It is not supported by anything. So technically, this is just your fantasies that may or may not come true. However, usually when the person decides to leave or start really thinking about leaving, they have already had too many broken promises, too many chances been given away, and sometimes even breakups and comebacks already happened. So if you're still thinking about leaving, trying one more time probably didn't work. So you have hope on the one hand, and on the other hand you have real life experience, your own experience that nothing will ever change. So how many more years are you ready to sacrifice to someone who would never appreciate your sacrifice anyway? The other trap that is holding you back from leaving a narcissist is fear. And it has so many dimensions. It can be fear of being lonely, fear of starting fresh, or fear of not being able to cope with the breakup. However, you can also experience a fear of narcissistic rage, or you are afraid of their reaction to the talk, and so on and so forth. But it all should be reinforcing factors to you, because the main feature of healthy relationships that you have to feel safe. This person has to be your safe haven. And when you are afraid of them in absolutely any sense, you have to try twice as hard to get out of there. Being a highly empathetic person, and I can assume you are a highly empathetic person, as narcissists are drawn to this type of people due to their own lack of empathy. You also will experience guilt. And guilt is a third factor that stops you from leaving a narcissist. You might feel guilty and you have to tell yourself, this is okay. You might feel guilty that you didn't try hard enough, or you didn't have some extra powers to save these relationships, or that the other person feels bad. But the best antidote here would be to remember that they were part of your decision to break up. No one enters the relationship with the thought, let's break up in 6 months or a year. Everyone is hoping that relationship will lead to marriage or family. So probably they did something for this breakup to happen. And let's be honest, when it is a relationship with a narcissist, they have done so much that you could probably write a good book or two, depending on how long you have been together. Plus, have they ever felt guilty or apologetic when you have been begging them to stop, tried to have these conversations with them? Did they feel guilty or regretful at all? I would leave this question open, since I know each of you who are watching this video is going to have your own answer. And most of those answers will be either never or very rarely. What also can be helpful when trying to break up with a narcissist, however, feeling these overwhelming emotions of guilt, shame, or whatever emotion it is, repeat these words. I have done the best I could with the resources and knowledge I had at that particular time and episode of my life, and I couldn't do better, because today I'm already a different person with all the experience I already have. The next thing that holds you in an unhappy relationship with a narcissist is pity. You can feel pity for them because a grandiose type of narcissist is not the only one that exists. As we know, there are also vulnerable narcissists who will play the victim. But the thing is that they always are. So instead of feeling pity for them, give yourself some compassion and some credit. You are not doing it to hurt them. You are doing it because you want to save yourself and your self-esteem and have a chance for happy, respectful relationships. However, there is another thing creeping in, and it is a pity for the wasted time. And of course, we could talk here about having an experience, but there are people who waste decades being in these types of situations, paying a quite expensive price for an experience and wisdom. And in this case, I like to say that a narcissistic relationship is like gambling. You cannot win. And sometimes you have to acknowledge that you are bankrupt and walk away, starting fresh without going deeper and deeper into debt. An important reason why it is hard for you to leave a narcissistic relationship is comfort. I know it sounds quite ridiculous, but it actually makes a lot of sense. For many people, a narcissistic relationship is a trauma bond. It is something that they have already experienced in their lives, from their parents, for example. Say a parent was cold and your current partner is cold. For you, cold is normal, and the same as in a childhood, you are going to spin in circles trying to get validation from someone who cannot give it to you. Moreover, our brain is wired in such a way that it aims for stability. It doesn't like changes. For your brain, knowing what is expected is actually less stressful than something new, so don't let it trick you. In general, the experience of getting out of a narcissistic relationship can be very stressful and complicated. However, do not give up on yourself and your happiness. Take it one step at a time. As we all know, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And remember, girl, you are stronger than you think. If you have an experience getting out of a narcissistic relationship, share it in the comments section. Maybe some of your real-life experiences can add some more context to this video. Look after yourself and your loved ones, and I will see you in the next video.